I was born in San Diego, and then when I was like 11, moved to Memphis and kind of grew up there in Tennessee, and then moved out here when I was about 23. And I came out here on a student exchange program for a semester, and then realized I could just live in the mountains. And just kind of fell in love with it, and then never left. You know, I've always really loved making stuff, and I was studying biology in college and happened to take a ceramics class with a friend of mine, like, made a bong, and he took the pottery class, and he's like, this is awesome. I was like, I want to do that. So I ended up taking the pottery class and never did that, but, like, just fell in love with it kind of right away. Like, it was something about the tactile quality of clay and, like, being able to create things in whatever shape you want, and the versatility of the material. Really just kind of fell in love with right away. It kind of took over everything else. Like, I spent all my time in the clay studio, so I started doing that stuff and failing other classes, and ended up transferring out here to Montana because I wanted to get more into wood firing at the time, and they had a wood firing program here. So I came out here and then graduated from MSU in 2007 with an art degree, and then I was farming at the time, so I'd, work a full-time job and then make pots at nights and weekends, and just couldn't not do it. And then slowly kind of just kept getting better and better, and eventually was able to kind of like start doing it full-time and open a shop and kind of make a go of it, doing craft fairs and doing sales and stuff like that. Bozeman specifically for me has been really amazing. This community is very supportive of small businesses, I think, across the board. And it's been amazing, like, having a gallery and watching, like, my regular customers, I guess, kind of come back to me time after time. And then also how this town is growing. It's chaotic feeling in a lot of ways, but at the same time, there's so many more people that, like, can come buy pots, which is awesome. Like, it's a really amazing community for that. I feel a lot of support from them. Just the subtle kind of landscapes that happen with glaze and pots feel a lot like landscapes here. I don't think it's really intentional, but I think it's kind of always in the back of my brain. Like, I think we're constantly affected by where we are, so it'd be hard not to kind of respond to that through your work. The biggest compliment I get is when people say they use my mug every day. Generally I make like a functional porcelain tableware. So I like making cups, mugs, plates, serving pieces, making pieces that are meant to be used every day. So I'll throw things sometimes a little thicker in spots to make them more durable, because I want them to stand up to kind of everyday use. I want someone to be able to use it and not be worried about just breaking it. And sometimes they break, but that's kind of the nature of pots. Yeah, I have a couple different wheels and a couple electric kilns. I do all electric firing, all like wheel thrown and slab built and altered. So I get most of my clay from the Archie Bray, and like all the dry materials for glazes and everything else I get from there. So it's an amazing resource an hour and a half away. I throw exclusively porcelain right now, but I just got some new clays that I want to test out, like starting to play with contrasting clay bodies. But primarily, I work all in porcelain. Some of my favorite tools, I do a lot. I really love my metal rib, so I use this for finishing, do a lot of chattering, so like getting it to vibrate on the pots makes really cool textures. These like really soft rubber ribs are amazing for like really cleaning up the bottoms of pieces when you're trimming and smoothing them out. But this is one of my favorite tools of all time, is the sponge on a stick. It's amazing because then you can get it down in stuff where like you can't get your hands into it. And it's literally just a sponge tied on a stick, and it's one of my favorite things in the world. I like working with different kinds of glaze too, so I have some that are more transparent, some that are more opaque. So I can play with different designs, whether it's like really using a couple thicker glazes together to kind of just get a lot of visual texture, or using more clear glazes with line work. It's really nice because you can get a lot of detail with that. I'm doing all electric firing at this point. Like I was saying, I was really into wood firing and soda firing and atmospheric firings before, and then I always kind of looked down on electric kilns because it seems so like almost too easy. But it's amazing because it's really reliable. So I can glaze. Usually I'll kind of glaze in a whole day, and then I can load a kiln, which is nice. It's like I've kind of figured out amounts. Like if I can glaze it in a whole day, then that's how much I can fill a kiln with, generally. And I do like cone 7 oxidation with a slow cool, so it like kind of gets the glazes a little bit hotter than they're supposed to, which makes them run and gives them a little bit more depth. Sometimes they just run right off the pots because of that, but it makes them look a lot more dynamic. And the slow cool kind of builds up the depth of the glazes. Be creative and make utilitarian things that are sometimes absurd, sometimes really amazingly simple and functional. But just being around a lot of people that are working, I think that inspires me a lot.